Hello, and welcome to the paper prototype for Krystallax Invasion, Super Cheesy Black Hole Apocalypse, a game by Squidrific Enterprises. Squidrific Enterprises is composed of Carrie Gates, currently behind the camera, Mike Sinclair, currently operating the prototype, and myself, Ben Whitaker, currently narrating this video. Our game is a point-and-click adventure / escape-the-room game, where the players must navigate a room, collect objects, and use these objects to complete puzzles. If they are the alien character, by completing the puzzles they destroy the Earth, and if they are the human character, they save the Earth. We're making a few assumptions for this game. First of all, we assume that the players have access to a keyboard. Our game puts a new twist on the point-and-click genre, where instead of pointing and clicking with the mouse, we are in fact pointing and clicking with the keyboard. A number of keys will move a cursor around the screen for each player, and each player is sitting at the same keyboard, which will allow for interesting player interaction. Secondly, we are assuming that the players can speak and read English. There will be several text-based messages, including how to play the game as well as what's happening in the game. You picked up a screwdriver. These messages aren't necessarily necessary to playing the game, however they will make it a lot easier. When the players first start the game, they will be greeted by the title screen, followed by a screen on the premise of the game. The premise, essentially, the Earth in the future has solved world hunger through genetically engineered cows, and the Earth now lives off of basically cheese. However, there's a species of alien that is severely allergic to cheese, has very severe reactions, and they see this cheesy planet Earth as a threat. So they have sent an alien in a spaceship to go and destroy the Earth with a black hole machine. The Earth, meanwhile, has sent up one of their finest scientists to go and stop the black hole machine, to defuse it, if you will. After the premise, they're given how to play. They'll play with keys on the keyboard, directing a cursor, along with an additional key to click the cursor to emulate a mouse. After this, they see the GUI, the graphical user interface. This side of the screen is the humans' half, and this side of the screen is the aliens' half. Down on the bottom here, they have their inventory, which will store items that they find. They have a little progress marker, which shows each of them how far along they are in the room, as this is a sort of race after all. Space for messages will appear here, such as, "You found a screwdriver." The title of the game itself will go up here, and there will be buttons here for help and the credits. In here are the rooms themselves. For the paper prototype, we have constructed them in a box-like format. Ta-da! In order to emulate the appearance of a 3D room. This is also for ease of space, as it's much easier than a long strip of paper, and we're like, oh no, now we have to flip to the other side. Whereas here, we can just turn it left or right, no matter where it is. Oh yes, and there are arrow buttons on the GUI that can turn the room. So if the player goes like this, they turn 90 degrees in the room, and they see a different wall. The next part of the paper prototype are the items, as well as the various things in the room the players can interact with. Take this crystal here, for example. It's put on a sticky note so that it can be easily moved from the place where it is into the player's inventory. As an example of objects in the room with various states, we have this toolbox here. First, it's closed. Once they open it, it becomes a toolbox with a screwdriver in it. Once I click on it again, the screwdriver is added to their inventory. And then there's an open toolbox, and it will stay like that for the rest of the game. Also in the game, we have a number of special effects and other things on our stuff they can't see card. For example, at one point in the game, there is a hologram projector. When they turn it on, the hologram appears there. Ta-da! In addition, we also have various things like turbulence, to stand in for an actual turbulent screen with shaking and sound effects. And we also have the end screen, the end screen where the humans win and the aliens lose, and vice versa. Both the human and the alien players both have puzzles based on matching pairs of symbols that are based throughout the room. This is the aliens puzzle. Here. Turn it back. Boop. See, there are these matching symbols side by side. They're hidden in various places throughout the room, and the players need to find these symbols and press the buttons with their cursor so that the symbols match. And they will show up on here just so that they've done them right, and then once they've done them all right, then they dissolve and they can move on to the next step. We have made this prototype to primarily test three things: the inventory, the navigation of the room and the GUI, as well as the puzzles. We think that this is going to be effective because we have a simple way for them to navigate through the room through these arrows, as well as a simple way for us to show that they're navigating through the room with the turning of the room boxes, like so. Ta-da! We think that the inventory will work fairly well because we actually have little tokens that we will add to the inventory box as they find items. And we think that the puzzles will go fairly well because the actual clues are actually hidden about the room with the actual symbols on the actual puzzles. Essentially, the puzzles are going to be exactly the same as they will be in the game, only in paper form. So the player will go and they'll say, I click on this symbol and this symbol, because they're the matching symbols, and if they are indeed the matching symbols, we will say, the symbols appear here, and if they're not, we'll say nothing happens. Thank you for watching our video on the paper prototype of Krystallax Invasion, Super Cheesy Black Hole Apocalypse. We hope you join us for further developments in our fantastic adventure with making this new and exciting game from Squidrific Enterprises. Goodbye.